All right, what is going on, guys? Good morning. Well, this is the Chasing Waypoints podcast, and I was going through my socials the other day, and I realized that I still have that thing that says Sundays at 10 a.m. It's Sunday, 10:31 a.m. We're running a little bit behind schedule, but you know what? Let's do it. Let's get back into the swing of things. So, welcome back to another episode of the Chasing Waypoints podcast. My name is Victor. I am the host, and I don't know what other title we can. Highly trained idiot. I don't know. All right, what are we talking about today? Today is recce day. So we'll talk a little bit about the behind the scenes of what it takes to put on a rally and some of the components, some of the things that maybe some people don't know about, but is very important to the function of creating a rally. And then also we'll talk a little bit. We got a couple of new things going on the website, and then we've got some stuff in the description. So Dakar Rally finally over, the Dakar hangover. We'll probably do some interviews here in the next few weeks, talking to some of the participants, some recap stuff and things like that. But the main focus now is, okay, the Dakar Rally is over. The W2RC, or the World Rally Raid Championship, is kicked off, and we've got the Portugal Rally coming up in a couple of weeks. So we'll look forward to seeing some of the results of that as we have some of the American riders compete, on the world stage. So we'll see. Maybe we bring home a championship for this year. But nevertheless, we've got stuff happening here. We've got coming up next on the plate and on the calendar is going to be the Sonora Rally. And right now, as we're recording this, they do have a team out doing reconnaissance, verifying routes, getting things ready and into shape. It's the first step of what happens when you get into a rally. And really, it's kind of almost the second and almost the last step as far as the route is concerned. So for those of you that are not familiar, cross-country rally is into the wild. You may be familiar with rally like the WRC World Rally Championship. There, they basically give these guys a 8, 10, 20, 30-kilometer road section where they're allowed to pre-run through it, make pace notes before they send their $1 million four-wheel drive hatchbacks down this thing at speeds that, not many drivers can obtain. It is a very, very fast-paced sport, but it is not cross-country rally. Cross-country rally is going to be a little bit different in one that they're not going to be given a time to pre-run or to see the course ahead of time. In the case of the Dakar Rally, you get 5 minutes with the road book before it's time for you to leave. So that is no time at all to kind of do reconnaissance and figure out, what are the key components of the stage? What are some of the things? And they do this because before, people were actually transmitting that road book to somewhere in the world. And that person somewhere in the world was putting things together and saying, okay, look, we've got these notes. We've got this stuff going on. Why don't you stay straight on this direction, and you'll meet up with it 5 kilometers down the road and gain 20 minutes. There's a lot of stuff that went on with that. And so the rules have changed. The things have changed. Digital road books now, not allowing the file basically to leave the bike once it's loaded, and then, only giving them 5 minutes with the actual stage that they're about to compete in has leveled the playing field. Well, before you even get to that part of it, there's a whole behind the scenes that goes to that. So months before the actual date of the event, and it's a calculated one. You don't want to go too far out, and then you don't want to be too close to the event. Teams will go out and actually run the road book that they have come up with to validate for, one, are the directions clear? Is somebody going to get lost at all skill levels? Are the dangers marked? Are there things that we should consider dangerous and that we should be marking them? And then also waypoint validation. So waypoint validation is one of the big things, because you can put waypoints just off course in a satellite image, but the radius for clearing waypoints is sometimes very, very thin, and you only have a few meters, where if you're off slightly, that's enough for people not to catch that waypoint, and it could lead to disaster as far as the stage goes. Multiple competitors missing it, all complaining about the same thing, all the way up to either cutting a stage short or even throwing a whole stage out. So it just depends. So it's very, very critical that when rallies are being formed, that they're out, that they're doing reconnaissance on these stages. They're making sure Again, directions, dangers, things of interest, things that need to be marked in order to make a route successful for people and allow them to complete it. I mean, that's ultimately the big thing. But it's also that amount of work. It's an investment because you're investing in, well, the safety of the event, and you're investing in, people's experience at this. So it's a very, very crucial step in this. And again, it happens time before the actual event. You don't want to go too close to the event because in certain sections, you don't want to leave tracks. You don't want to go too far from it because then the desert could change, especially when you get into the sand dunes. Sonora Rally is famous for the Sonoran Desert, the dunes of the Altar Desert. Now, huge dunes, but you don't want to be leaving tracks. And more importantly, even if it's not the tracks don't even matter. Even on race day, you could be at the back of the field in a windstorm and you would not see any tracks of the guys in front of you. And so it's very, very crucial that these things are flushed out, that both the organization and, well, the competitors actually know, hey, this could be an issue. If we're going into the dunes, we could have disappearing tracks. We could have a drop off on the other side and not realize that wasn't there before, 3 or 4 weeks back. But, bad windstorms, bad weather, things like that, it can all change. So really, really important, really, really crucial part of creating a rally in both. And nobody is, everybody is susceptible to this. So all of the organizations have a form of going out, testing their road books, making sure that there is continuity there, and to make sure that they're going to be ready for the flag drop, in a few weeks for the event. So really cool to see. It's a really awesome process. We'll be bringing you some more stuff. We're going to be working on a few more with the Sonora Rally. Sonora Rally School is coming up. It's the first event in North America for rallies. And then right behind it is going to be Baja Rally School. Then you're going to have Baja Rally at the end of the year. You do have also in this beginning part of the year, the SoCal Rally that's coming up. And that one, I'm looking forward to that one. SoCal Rally coming up. That to me is like the Burning Man of Rally Raid here in North America. It's a bunch of people that go to this. Everybody just gets along. It's awesome. They're all there for road books. And, I think that it is one of the best primer events. You've had literally people that started there, Mohart, namely. You've had people that have started in rally there and then have grown and gone out to compete in the Dakar and to complete the Dakar, I should say. Competing and completing could be two different things depending on your view of things, but it's really, really awesome to see people go out and challenge themselves, and the stuff is there. I had somebody reach out that I actually met through the podcast. And then again at SoCal Rally, which is awesome to put names to faces. But Michael Clow and his project and his venture that he's doing, a Northwest Road Books. Sorry, a little bit tongue-tied. The coffee's gone. And in talking to him and some of the, looking at the webpage and the things that he's doing, it's really, really cool because if you're in the area, in the Washington area, you can go through and look at, and I'll leave the link in the description. You can go through, you can find road books all the way from the beginner, in town, easy bailout kind of thing to a more remote, camping off of the bike kind of experience. And so it's really, really cool that it doesn't have to be competitive. I've talked to a lot of people recently about rally and the Dakar Rally being over and just how it works. And we all know, if you guys have been following the show for a little bit, I've talked about this before, is that there is a smaller percentage of the field that is competitive and is there to win the rally. And then there's a whole nother, much larger portion, I think, that's there that actually winning and placing is kind of a secondary or tertiary thing. It's not the main goal. The main goal is actually finishing the rally, going out and checking everything out, seeing the sights, enjoying and taking in the experience. They're not concerned with what their position is. Interesting enough, you have competitors like Harriet Noah, who had competed on the Sherco out of India and completed the whole rally and did not even know that he had won because he stayed off of social media, didn't focus on the results, just focused stage by stage by stage. Most recently, in this iteration of it, you have Preston Campbell, son of Johnny Campbell, in the Rally 2 category, placing second on the podium. That is absolutely crazy. There's 3 people that have done that before on their first attempt on a bike. Cyril Neveu, which was on the first attempt, and it was the very first 1979 Dakar Rally. You had Toby Price in 2015, 2016, placed third. And then you have Preston Campbell in 2026, who placed second overall in Rally 2 on his first attempt at the Dakar Rally. So very, very awesome. I mean, these are things that don't happen often. It takes multiple attempts to do it. But more than anything else is that the majority of the people that go to the Dakar and that go to some of these bigger rallies, they're there to compete and complete it. You have the Africa Eco Race that's going on now. Now, Africa Eco Race has taken over more or less the original route to the Dakar, finishing in Dakar, Senegal. So it's a very interesting evolution of how things have changed. The bikes have gotten much, much faster. I saw some video of one of the KTM rally bikes, this latest version of it, on a motocross track. And other than the fairing, that bike did not look heavier than any given motocross bike. So really interesting to see that. But we'll see as things progress. We've got the rallies coming up here. If you guys are curious and trying that stuff, check out, like I said, check out the link below. It's going to be for Northwest Road Books. If you guys are up in the Washington area, it's a cool thing to check out, and you can continue. If you're elsewhere, there's events that are coming up. We'll be working and talking with them and getting the word out. For those of you that are interested in rally, it's not a competitive thing. For the vast majority, it's more of just an experience thing. So we'll try moving a little more information that way to your way. Okay, so that is kind of the happenings. I keep looking over. I have over here on the screen things you're not allowed to see because they are things pertaining to an upcoming rally. So it's obviously the same thing. Okay, just making sure I don't have mirrors behind me. It's really awesome to see this kind of stuff start forming. I get to see early on, like, are there going to be, because a lot of the stuff that I do with the organizations is okay, am I going to see this on the date of the rally? Am I going to see people missing these corners, or am I going to see, what am I going to see? This is a preview for myself as well. So it's really interesting to keep an eye on and see how people are doing at the event, doing reconnaissance or doing the recce. So really awesome stuff. Okay, let's move on. We've got updates. That's the rally side of it. We've got updates. So the dual sport thing is making a comeback. We are working on a video. I've got the F900. If you guys follow the socials, Chasing Waypoints on Instagram, you saw a little teaser clip that I did. I've got the build video on the F900 GS that's coming up. I've had a lot of people ask about that bike, the build on it and what all went into it. It's a really, really awesome setup. I think the only shame is that I have not had a chance to ride it as much as I want to, but maybe we'll just quit talking and start riding more. Novel idea. Okay, so there's that. And then we've also been making some changes on the website. If you guys have been visiting the website, we did the Dakar Rally coverage. We've got a page up now there. If you guys want to check it out, it's just got some recap stuff, results, the tail of the tape, so to speak, as they say in boxing. And so then from there, we've also created another section. There's a lot of gear and a lot of things that I've purchased along the way. I have the absolute worst shiny object syndrome. I admit it. I know it. I embrace it. And well, with that, I'm thinking like, these are things that are cool. Like, for instance, I have a tool pack that I've pieced together, putting up the lightest tools that I can, tools that are multifunction, right? Not just a single use tool that only works for one single thing. There's a lot that goes into these. So I figured, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to do some of these reviews and show people what it is. So if you head on over, again, the link will be in the description. I've got kind of a gear section on the Chasing Waypoints website so that you guys can check that out and see if there's, there might be some things on there that you find useful. So I'll be doing some more reviews and some more things like that. And then also, and one more, and I think this will be the last because we've got a lot going on, but the idea is that everything is low friction. It's just stuff that comes out naturally. So that's why you want to be subscribed. Make sure you don't miss any of this stuff. But YouTube now has rolled out a thing called courses. So we'll be doing a few different courses on a few of the things that I know and what we have done and some of the stuff that you guys find handy. So if there's something you would like to see a course on, drop it down in the comments, and let's see what the ideas are. We'll try and put some stuff together, and maybe it's not just me that's doing it; it's somebody else that we maybe can rope into getting some stuff up on YouTube. So I don't know. There is a lot going on. We're getting into the riding season. The Cove is dialed in and ready to go. I've got. We'll have a whole nother conversation. We'll have a whole nother conversation about the Cove and the setup on that. That's another build video I haven't done that I need to get on because there's a lot of cool things on that one. Interesting enough, that wasn't a full send, get as much stuff on there as possible. It was just get functional stuff on there as possible. So we'll talk more about that setup as well. And then we'll be also we're looking at maybe late March, maybe putting something together. So stay tuned for that as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that one, but man, there's a lot coming up. Oh yeah. And then next weekend, we've got the Dakar presentation at the King of Hammers. So that'll be really cool. It's on January 31st on that Saturday. So we'll be checking that one out. I'll send you guys some pictures and videos, stuff like that, or you guys will see it on the socials. So once again, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of that stuff. Okay. With that being said, I've got to get back to this. So I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully we're on a consistent path here. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I might miss one. I'm sorry, but you know what? We're having fun with this. So I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, it'll make sense when you get there. Enjoy the ride.